progress.
Hey guys, this is the new additional installment of the FAQ hour. Hi Jamie, hope everyone's doing well. We're just waiting a few moments for everyone to sort of jump in as I see the participants come in. Hope everyone's having an Omicron-free morning. This fiasco seems to keep going. Hey Darren, how's it going? Very excited with today's installment of the FAQ hour. We'll be going through design options, so you'll be able to see how you can make changes on the fly. But I'll give it another minute before I kick on. Hope everyone's busy leading up to Christmas. Can't believe another year has gone by. I start using COVID as a tracking point, so it's already been some 2 years, which is pretty earth-shattering to think that 2 years have already gone by. But I'll keep the topic down to Canibuild and what we can do. And for all our new clients that are jumping on for the first time, I just want to say hello and thank you for the trust you put in us. And for all our repeat visitors, hello again. And I hope today's one is quite beneficial because it is a major update. And I'll run through it. As in all my presentations, feel free to post questions either on Facebook or directly on message via the Zoom chat link, and I'll try to get through to them all as I go along. If anyone's got random questions as well, feel free to ask those and I'll try to get to them as part of today's presentation. So it's 3 minutes past the hour, so I'll kick on and I'll share my screen as I always do, and I'll start running through an example. I might kick that off now, and as always, we're recording the session, so we'll be uploading to YouTube. So anyone that does miss the presentation can share the link or let others know that it exists there. So let's just share this and kickstart. Brilliant. Okie dokie. So, given that this presentation is primarily for existing clients, I'm sure everyone knows exactly what they're seeing here, but just in case there's some that is thinking about jumping on with Canibuild, just a very quick intro. Canibuild's a client-facing sales application tool. It's cloud-based, meaning there's nothing you have to download. And the imagery we use is always high-res and up-to-date. It comes from a myriad of different sources. And you'll be able to get the date of these images on the bottom left-hand side. You'll be able to see that date. The key takeaway is it's always up-to-date and high-res, which is important when you're trying to sell construction to a client on their block of land. But today's installment is about design options. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to an address and I'll run through from beginning to end, from uploading the design options, and being able to show how these work. So let's do that. And today's a momentous occasion because I won't be using 78 Hood Street. So I'm evolving as a human and able to sort of click on other addresses. So let's just pick this address. So basically I've just found a nice wide block of land where I can sort of use as a nice canvas for what we're going to be doing today. So we've gone to this address And now what we're going to do is upload a design from scratch, which would sort of retouch on one of the previous episodes on how to upload a design, but I'll also be talking about obviously design options. So let's just get that along the way. So we'll go to, on the top right-hand side, hi Timothy, admin, where we'll be going to our designs, free plug for Clover Homes. We'll go to designs and we'll click on houses, and here we'll be able to start the upload process. For those of you that can't see that admin option, that's because maybe you don't have admin rights and you have to speak to someone in your organization to be able to perform this. So here we'll be clicking add item, and here we'll be choosing our floor plan. So I've got one ready here, courtesy of Domain Homes, as an example floor plan, but it was just a random one that I'm selecting. So it's like always, when we do select a floor plan, the first task is to crop the floor plan, so we can do that quite easily. So I'll start cropping this floor plan, just so we can select exactly what we want to show. This floor plan itself is already pre-cropped, so I'm just sort of doing this for redundancy, just to show what the process is like. So now the good thing about these design options, they work on single level and double level, and I'll be able to showcase that as well. So here we've cropped it, we click the scissors on the right hand side, it'll crop. And now it's asking us to provide a scaled measurement. Let me just quickly grab my notes so I know what it is. It's 8.4 wide, so let's do that. And put the 8.4. Okay, so we've now scaled our floor plan. Let's give it some vital info on the right-hand side. So the design name, which in this case, if we're making it exact, it's Berkeley 15. It's a single story. The price doesn't matter, $299 for this case. And just for completeness sake, we can put the actual size of this build, which is 135.18. And you can add attributes as well. So let's just do that. It's 3, 2, and 1 garage. Now, the key update is this plan options tab here. So we've got plan options, and this is where we can start adding our plan options. So let's just add our first one. All we have to do is click add option. It's now asking us to select the options. So let's just do that. So these options that I'm selecting are, these could also be snips or sections of floor plans that you've already developed for these known optional upgrades. So the Grand Alfresco option, or the double garage option, or whatever it might be. So as long as you've got those there, you can start plotting them. So here we've got this double ensuite, double vanity ensuite option that we've got here. And now we're going to be repeating the similar steps to uploading a floor plan, which is to crop. So let's just do that. I could have snipped off that little section there because that's a bit of redundant floor plan option, but just for completeness, I'll go around and just, and again, this is being pre-cropped. So we've got here the crop, we're going to crop this. It's going to ask us for a known measurement, which in this case, let's go from here to here and go 3.6. And then when we try to align this option, which is on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see the floor plan. We'll be able to grab this section and align it there. So we've basically aligned that option quite neatly there. On the right-hand side, we can name this option. So let's just call this the double vanity ensuite option. You can provide a price. So these items, these design options can actually feed into costings. So say, for instance, in this case, to have a vanity, it's 15,000. 150,000 is probably up there. It would be good if we had that upgrade, but let's just go 15,000. You can choose the color in which you present these design options. So in this case here, it defaults to black, but you can click on this and choose any color. So red, blue, whatever might make sense. So let's just go red, just so we can make it very clear. You can copy the code at the bottom if you know it. So if you wanted to have that link to your branding, so these design options can also link up, which is quite nice. So we've got red here. We've called it the double vanity ensuite option, and we've given it 15,000, and then we can sort of tick that off as being done. Now what we can do is click on the next one. So let's click another design option. Again, I've pre-snipped these just for the purposes of this webinar. And then these could be PDFs, snips, images, whatever. So we've got this snip. You can see here it could have included part of the existing build, so you don't have to be neat about it, because you've got the ability to now then crop the exact section you want to show when you click this option. So let's just crop this. Let's go. For simplicity, I'll just exclude that door because it's not needed. It's not an actual change. It's just, and now I've just cropped this, and I click the scissors, and now I have to give it a width. So let's just do that. Unknown measurement, so go here. And then just give it a known measurement, so 5.7. Again, we can give it a name. So let's just call this obviously double garage as the option. We can do the price. Let's just say 20,000 as the design option. And then we can even change the color. So let's change the color, and I'll copy in that code when I am changing color, just so all our color changes can be consistent. And now we can click the align tab at the top, because what we're trying to do is align it. So let's go to the align, and then let's just position that there. So if we want to sort of fine tune this, we can. So there we go. We've aligned our double garage, and you can see how simple it is. It's meant to just illustrate those changes with a client. It's not meant to be cumbersome to do this task. And as always, we can, at Canibuild, we can help you get these upload options done and sort of work with you to get this done, because this is an incredibly powerful feature. You can imagine just letting clients sort of chop and change, and allows you to start doing these upgrades and these options that previously you may have been scared to do, because it just slows down the sales process. You don't want to sort of modify the ensuite and modify this, especially for project home builders. Now, even though these examples I'm going through is specific for the home building industry, it can work for, say, pool industries and shed industries. So say pool industries, if there is known locations for a spa, or you wanted to just indicate add-on spa or add-on addition, say, waterfall features and things like that, you can put these against that floor plan, that pool design, and be able to say, okay, for the jets, they typically go here, and we can place this here, waterfall, sunbeds, and all these kind of things. So you can be creative and start making it your own. But in this case here, we've placed this garage in this position, we click the tick, and we're done. So now we've placed in 2 design options. Now let's just add in a third just for completeness. So let's just click add option. And our third option is like the grand living type option. You can see here that in the particular example that of borrowing off Domain Homes, which do an incredible job themselves in this regard. They've been able to change these modifications. So they've got these floor plans already, which makes this example an actual example. And then again, we'll be cropping out the section we want to show. So in this case here, I'll take the liberty of not including chunks of the existing floor plan, just to give you an idea of how this is used. So given that the bath isn't changing, I'll lap around in this kind of way. So let me just take off snap. If you do lose alignment, you can just take off snap in order to regain it. And then I'll just let me lap around. Where am I? Okay. Yeah. And then I come around to the back again. So I've got this section here, which is quite good. Again, I'm going to give it a, let's call it the Grand Living upgrade option. Let's just put in the price. How's 45,000 sound? And then we're able to click on the color. So again, just to, and this color could be anything, but just to make it all look pretty, I'll stick to the color code that I've already selected and click tick. So basically I've added these 3 design options, which is quite good. If you needed to edit these again in any way, you can click on the edit button. I have to complete this by cropping. Sorry, I've missed a few steps of my own. So I have to click crop, which I've cropped. And then I have to give it a known measurement. So let me just give it the width, which we do know, I think from memory was 8.4. But I've got the memory of a goldfish. So let me just double check my notes, 8.4. So I'll give it 8.4. Now we need to give these sections a known scale because or else it won't rescale and align correctly when we try to align. So I've done 8.4. I go to alignment options and it's positioned miraculously good by itself. I wish I could tell you that that was because of our artificial intelligence, but it's a pure cosmic fluke. So it's now positioned quite nicely. It's technically it's not a fluke because we position it on top left corner, but it looks like it magically placed itself. But it's placed in the right location. There's nothing I have to sort of change here. I click the tick to finalize that that's done, and you can now see those design options. So you can see the garage, you can see the ensuite, and you can see this Grand Living option. So we've done, and if you needed to re-edit one, say I wanted to edit the garage, I just click the pen and it lets me sort of play around with it if I wanted to, and then I can click save. If I wanted to edit this alfresco option, I sort of can, but there's no need. So again, I'm saving it and so on and so forth. So now let's see how it looks on the front end. So I'll just click on the tick on the top right to click save. And now if I do look at that Berkeley, it's there. And you can even go in and re-edit it if you want, but let's just jump to the front and see how that looks. So now I'll click on designs in a very similar way as we always do. I'll search for that design that we've added. So you can see here, place that design. Scroll this into position. So we've now got that design in place that we've just uploaded. And on the left-hand side, you'll now see plan option changes. So if we do click on the double vanity ensuite, you can see that there. If we click on the Grand Living, you can see that there. And if we click on the double garage, let me just, sorry. Just return back. One moment. This is what happens when I don't go to my trusty 78 Hood Street. Let me just quickly jump back. I think I may have done this one. If not, I'll go again. And click on designs. I'll just start again. Berkeley, click the Berkeley, and I can run through those design options. So whatever it might be. Now, the good thing is, as soon as you do click on that design option and you say you place that, do notice that the actual measurement nodes that we've got here is actually changing to show the distances from the revised change. So if I do take off that option, it'll sort of go back. So it's actually aware of the change. So you can use that for contours, drop edges, and things like that. You're able to do it in that kind of way. Now, the other thing that you can do when you do click on these options, let's just say we click on these two, and then you go to quote, it'll actually start building up the quote items as well. So for those of you that are using our quote functionality, it's just a nice way to be able to show the revised price. When you generate flyers and you generate things like this, it'll also feed into the revised floor plan. So you'll be able to make these changes together with your notes, generate a flyer, and go from there. Now, just to reinforce what you can do with these design options, I'll load in a few other ones that I've already preloaded previously. So if I click on designs and I go to, let me just try to remember the names. I think one that I've done before is called the Carolina. So if I click on that and click replace, this is one where I've uploaded quite a few different design options. So let me just place that somewhere. So here we've got a two-story design. So I just wanted to show how it works on two levels. And it's the simple process on the upload is you've got your first floor, your second floor. You'll be able to just upload those design options on the floor plate that's appropriate. But here you can see there's quite a few more options. And I think from memory, I color-coded these in weird and wonderful ways just to sort of reinforce that. So we've got quite a few options. So we've done these so you can see these different options and how they're changing the actual floor plan. But you can also have options for the first floor. So let's just do some of those. So let's just say we want the larger bedroom. Now you can't see anything because it's on the upper floor, but let's switch. So as you all know, you can switch between ground floor and upper floor with the ground floor and upper floor feature on the right-hand side with this half-colored house. So on the right-hand side, just below Hi Timothy. So if you do switch to the upper floor, you can actually see those design options now. So let's just go with the another option there. And we are creating functionality where if you do have conflicts, you can sort of change them and or avoid them or warn. But right now you can overlap if that's your preference. And then we're just sort of adding a few different ones just for completeness. So we've done some design options for the upper floor. We switch down to the ground floor. You can see those design options. Let's just add a butler's pantry or home within a home. So we can do let's just do a bigger one. So home within a home. And you can start doing these kind of changes en masse. And then again, if you go to quote, it starts building up this quote. So you can generate quote in a normal way to be able to showcase these changes. And the nice thing is this revised modified floor plan works in terms of setbacks, it works in terms of contours, it works in terms of those drop edges. So you're able to do all of that. I'll quickly show another one and let me just, it's feeling lonely. So let me just go back to 78 Hood Street. Just for a change in scenery. Let me just create a new deal. And I'll just show one more other one. And hopefully that gives you a good idea in terms of how design options work. Let me just quickly check up on Facebook to see if there's any questions. Since I've started, I think there's only been one Facebook question in recorded history, but just quickly look. Nope, which is fine. So jumping back, if I do pick one of the other design options that I've done, which I think was Aspen from memory, and this is just reinforcing the points. I think I was just a bit lazy on this one and added the one, which is the Grand Alfresco. But I'm hoping you can see the value in being able to do this as quickly as I am and being able to show the client these changes. So if I do click on the Grand Alfresco, it'll deploy the Grand Alfresco and extending that back area. And you can see that there. So we're incredibly excited about this feature. We think it's going to just not only make this process easier, but it's also going to be able to allow you the freedom to offer these design options without slowing the sales cycle. I know that sometimes builders might be sort of hesitant in having these type of discussions because it basically means that you have to go back and change it and show it, and then the client might not like it, or when they see it drafted, they might change their mind again. But now that you've got this freedom of just sort of selecting and choosing and upgrading both ground floor and upper floor and changing the floor plan on the fly, it's a really good way of upgrading and giving design options and pricing, and be able to say, hey, with all these 10 different changes that you're doing to the floor plan, this is going to be the resulting price. I've got a few questions here. We've got a question. Let me start from the top. We've got one from Jamie. Hi, Tim, when you've got a minute, can you show me how to edit and remove designs? 100%. I'll quickly jump on that one. I'll go through the other questions that are in addition to that. Let me go to admin. So you go, the question was, how do we edit and delete designs? So I'll be able to show you that. And it's definitely not, this is our fault, and I do apologize, because it's almost like we did this as a form of slow torture to our own clients, which we definitely need to change. Right next to the price, see this price here, there's a microscopic 3 dots there, which no one in recorded history has been able to identify on their own. If you click on that, it has this pop up for you to now edit this item, and then you're able to edit the descriptions, etc. You're able to click on attributes and change the attributes. And then if you wanted to adjust the floor plan itself, like you say you wanted to add these design options to an existing floor plan, see this placement image, you can click on that and it'll jump to the edit. And then you can go to plan options and start adding plan options to your existing floor plans. So, or you can start modifying the existing one that you've already got there. You can add upper floor levels if you haven't got upper floor levels. So if you clicked, say this was a 2-story design, you can now click add the second level, align it with the ground floor, and sort of move from there. So hopefully that gives you an idea on how to edit. The other part of the question, sorry for jumping back, the other part of the question was, how do we delete designs? So if we go to designs and go to houses and click on the design, you're able to delete that design. In which way? I think we have, yeah, you've got delete on the edit. So again, on those microscopic 3 dots, click delete and you'll be able to delete that design. So hopefully that answers that question. I'll quickly jump to the other questions that we had. All right, so the next question was, we'll be selecting this for facade options. Yes, so facade options will be going live in the next few days. We were trying to get it done for today in conjunction with design options, and we just missed the mark a bit, so we do apologize, but it's going live in the next few days, irrespective of not having been presented in this webinar format. And when those facade options come, they're going to be see how in these design options there are text, they're going to be pictures of those front facade options. So you'll be able to, it'll be a little bit more graphic and a little bit more pretty because the facades are a major component. So you'll see those facades, you'll select those facades and switch between them. And in a similar way to the design options, they'll modify the front. So say there'll be 2 scenarios, say builders that have got floor plans representing each of their facades, it will change the floor plan. So the front part, the balcony might extend out and setbacks might breach. So it will change that. For builders that don't have floor plans representing every facade, say they've got a generic floor plan and 5 facades, and that would work as well. It just won't change the floor plan and it'll be representative. So when you generate flyers, it'll show the adjusted render, and you'll also be able to change the pricing. So if you do click on non-standard facade, it'll just add 10,000 to the quote, or 9, or whatever it might be. We will use, so we've got a few other quick questions, and I'll try to go through them. And add sub build type and move an item from one build type to another. How do I add a sub build type, e.g. new pool shell manufacturer? Okay, so Jamie, I think I understand the question. So the question was, how do we shift designs from one sub build type to another? The way, it's not essentially shifting, you're just basically changing its attributes. So if you click on edit, and then we've got subcategory here, and do this drop down, you can change it to another category, or if you've got subtype, you can change it. So I've clicked on the granny flat, so the sub build types are detached studio, and you can change it, whichever design. And if you want to add subcategories, so these are these categories, and these are the categories that just popped up on the admin, you click subcategories, and then you basically click these more identifiable 3 dots and create a subcategory. And then you can create as many as you like. The sub build type, we don't change, because the sub build type is driving our rules. So we need to know if it's detached and attached, or if it's in ground or above ground, or if it's fiberglass or concrete, with some rules are governed by that. So if there's a sub build type that we're missing, definitely Jamie, reach out and we'll add that if it's something that we've missed that's driving a rule. But if it's a category you want to sort of group for yourself, then this is the way to do it. You'll go into subcategories and create a new category in this way. Hopefully that answers. And then how do I blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Will the facade be able to figure out doubles where the upstairs balconies increase and downstairs porch? Good question. On the first iteration, no. I was praying that a builder didn't ask that, and I had 32 minutes and we had the question. It'll be changing the ground floor. It's okay. We can change the ground floor. In the next iteration, we'll change the upper floor. The reason we didn't put that much effort into aligning the facade options is, one, because we were trying to get this feature out by our roadmap dates, which we try to stick to. And second, most builders don't have all the permutations of all their renders for ground floor and upper floor. And typically the ground floor projects beyond whatever the upper floor does. So it'll be breaching setbacks, but I understand the upper floor setbacks breach. So I'm probably trying to build up excuses as to why we didn't do it in the first iteration, but we will do it in the next iteration. And when I say the next iteration, it could be a month after. But you'll have ground floor, you'll have facades, you'll have the design options. The design options do work upper floor and lower floor, and then we'll associate facade to ground and upper very shortly. Okay, you can see me sweat on that question a bit, but yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so I think that's answered all the questions that we had so far. So just to jump back, so just to recap, we've got the design options now. They can be applied to ground floor and upper floor. We're doing facades in the next few days, and that'll be getting released. And that'll feed all into flyers. So you'll be able to create your design options, choose your facade. Your flyer will show the updated floor plan and also the updated facade, which is pretty amazing because you're able to cite things for house and land packaging. You're able to do things for clients on the fly that represents exactly what they're after, and it will be priced. And we'll be introducing rules that whenever you pick 2 design options that conflict with each other, it'll tell you that there's probably an issue there, or maybe not. It might be a design option or a design option like the grand bathroom plus the change of the shower location as an individual option. So you might be able to sort of ignore that rule set, but typically 99% of the time, if there's a conflict, it's probably because there's a conflict and you have to pick one or the other. So we've done all of that. We've gone through the quoting and the quoting changes in respect to these design options. So I think I've gone through the majority of these. The other nice thing to note in regards to these design options is they will be applied on the front end of our widget offering as well. So since some of the questions have come from Advanced Homes, who these guys are really amazing, and they operate out of Victoria. They've been really gracious enough to adopt the web widget version of Canibuild, which can be embedded on a website, and then these design options will be able to be represented on this web widget as well. So the idea being is clients will not only be able to drill in and go in and say, all right, well, can we pick on whatever it might be, this design or that design on this estate or that estate, but also be able to do the design options as well. So they can spend all weekend adding the Grand Alfresco, the double, triple, quadruple garage, or whatever it might be, and then be able to sort of cite a design on that actual block of land and actually run through all the options from the front, from the web interface of the widget. So pick a design, go through design options, and let the client really sort of go wild. And hopefully it shortens that sales cycle, so the sales consultant doesn't have to go insane drafting 300 different design options, which is sometimes why builders don't offer this in the sales process at the start, because it is sort of elongates that sales cycle. It's typical where a lot of builders will say, let's just touch on that further on or in the design and approval phase. But now that it's so simple, you can bring it forward, and it can be a way to start supercharging, say, revenues, because you're able to start doing much larger upgrades than 3 extra LED lights, which I'm sure that clients will be asking for that to be thrown in for free anyway. So it's probably a cost rather than an upgrade. So you've got these options as well. So if anyone's interested in the web widget, feel free to sort of reach out to us and we can talk about that as well. And there's quite a few builders that's using this already. If Minko's on, hello. And I appreciate your use of the web widget as well. So jumping back to the main page, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to sort of go through. So probably I'll give an opportunity for everyone to ask any random questions that you might have. Given that Jim is listening on, I'll definitely just click on show estates just to give a recap that we've now got some 2,500 estates on the system. So we've got pretty much more than any other company in terms of the number of states. Victoria, we've got quite a few. As you can see, each of these represents an individual development. So had a demo this morning in regards to, I think, Bendigo, they were at. Can't remember. My guidance system's terrible for Victoria, but yeah. So we've got quite a few extra ones, and then we're basically able to load in as per normal. So we've got a question that's popped in. All right. Some more tough questions. I like tough questions. Are page breaks coming to quote soon? Yes. We are doing page breaks because that's something that's critical. So you don't have to sort of worry that when you generate the quote, it's just got one line on the last page or something daft like that. And then it lets you sort of separate the terms and conditions. So yes, we are doing page breaks. And then can we delete the top header and just add our own design in? You essentially can. I think you can remove that top header and then add a section with an image, and then that image can be your top header. I'll have a look at that offline and see if we can do that, because that's the sort of workaround. Sorry guys, for those of you that's sort of not following these questionings, if the questions are in regards to our branded quoting feature. So right now you're able to sort of control quote in quite a detailed level. So you can sort of change the location of sections. You can add new sections. You can change the color of how the quote is. You can change the background image. You can sort of add an image into the background, make it faded, whatever. You can remove sections. So say you don't want to show price, you don't want to show quantity. If you don't want to show unit of measure, you can sort of hide all of that. If you remove description, if you look on the preview panel, you'll notice that the description disappears. And the question was, can we remove this top header? It doesn't give you the delete option because it's treating this as a baseline. That's something that we can look at, because what you can do is you can create your own block in this text block here, insert an image that's full width, and then you can set that block to the top. So there might be a workaround that makes it easier for us to get this to you sooner rather than later. But we are reworking this entire page because it does look a little bit clunky from my liking. So the short answer is right now you can't, but it should be able to be removed quite easily. So let me speak to the team and get back to you on how we can do that. And then you can just basically insert the image, which you can insert a link from this text box panel here, and be able to sort of go from that perspective. So XD screenshots, future header edits. Elise has posted an image on how that's going to look. So anyone that wants to sort of download that, hopefully you can get that link to download, and that shows exactly what we're working on. So thanks, Elise, for coming to my rescue and showing behind the scenes of how that quoting functionality is going to look. And for everyone else, if anyone's interested in quotes, again, reach out to us and our team will be happy to help you and guide through that. And then I'll quickly see if there are any word on anchors for quotes. We are working on anchors. So again, for everyone else, anchors is basically code word for the ability to insert, say, client name within your own text, because you're able to add whatever sections you want. So the anchor will be blah, 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 blah in terms of the text that you'll be typing in. And then the anchor will be something like client name, and then I'll insert the client name. So we are still working on this, and the likelihood is, given the time frame of Christmas, it'll be in January rather than December, but I'll get back to you if that's sooner. Which is the easiest way to limit estates appear in the widget? Is this a function we use in the back end? The widget, the estates will be limited very soon, because we'll be able to restrict what is shown and what the client can access from the web widget by your coverage area. So I'm presuming you want to limit it by coverage. So that's our first step. And then our second step is you'll be able to select which estates you want to show. So if you just want to show the 6 that you're working closely with, we'll be able to do that. And that's something we can probably do sooner rather than later. And we can do this as a customization to your account specifically. So I'll get back to you on that one as well. In regards to the design options, is there any other questions that anyone might have had or wanted me to sort of replay? I'm keen to get anyone's feedback generally. Did we hit the mark? Is it something that you think that's going to work? You can break my heart and tell me no, but I'm keen to get any feedback whatsoever to make sure that we're on track. Thanks for that quick rundown on import and exporting. Okay, so I'll go back to admin. In terms of importing and exporting, if it's the item catalog you're importing and exporting, you can click item catalog, click on the 3 dots and click import and export. If it's a design catalog you're importing and exporting, you can click the 3 dots next to Hi Timothy and again import and export. What that does is it will bulk update the attributes. So you can't bulk update design options in terms of floor plans and images, but say you wanted to modify all your current designs, say you had them all as capitals and you wanted them to be leading caps, or you changed all the names of your designs or the pricing of all your designs, you can simply click export and it'll export a spreadsheet, which you can then update all the pricing in one and then import it in one go rather than clicking edit on each and every single row. So hopefully that was your question. Jamie, was there any other? And if not, feel free to always reach out to us in regards to specific questions. The only other thing, yep, was that it? Great. Any other queries, any other suggestions, or is there anything that anyone else would like the system to start being able to do? Any feedback whatsoever? We basically get driven by you guys in terms of what we do next. And you know, without you guys, it's pretty pointless. So I think we're catching up first Thursday in Jan or later in the new year. That's a really good question. The question is, when's the next FAQ hour? So let me just see how horrific the first Thursday is. First Thursday falls on the 6th. I'll probably be doing the first Thursday just to keep things consistent. So that seems to be the 6th of January. Yeah, I'll probably be lonely on that webinar, so we'll see how many people turn up. But I'll do it on the 6th, and regardless, anyone that can't meet the 6th of January, I'll be doing on February, the first Thursday, which is the 3rd. So it might be a lonely webinar on January, so please join in if you are available. But as always, these FAQ hours are monthly on the first Thursday of every month at 11 o'clock, and I'll go through all the new features that will get released. And as you can see from all our previous ones, we're very rapid in our feature release of tangible features. So I hope no one is treating these as our way of fluffing on. We do go into sort of beefy upgrades. So I think these design options is a game changer. It allows builders the flexibility to offer them without fearing that it's going to slow the sales process down. And for those of you that are already doing it, it just supercharges the entire process 1,000-fold. So I think I've covered everything, and although I can talk, I'm sort of struggling to breach the last 13 minutes. So I'm happy for anyone to ask any questions that they might have. As always, these presentations will be uploaded to YouTube. So if anyone had any other questions, I'm happy to field random ones for now. Yep, Jim, yeah, we're 100% uploading to YouTube, so the entire recording can be forwarded on to others so they can see what we've done. But we're always impressed with how many people log in to these sessions every month, so we're incredibly grateful. We appreciate the trust everyone puts in us to make sure that their sales process is moving in the right direction. And if there's any recommendations or suggestions, feel free to reach out and let us know. Like, even if you think it's silly, it's the silly ones that are typically the best ones. A volume option in pool will be good. I agree with that. We are working on that now. Maybe Elise can sort of track our auto site cost tool that we're developing and post that up so you can see that. We're also for our pool clients, we're also releasing, maybe today, it might already be there. I'm not sure. Let me just publicly embarrass myself by checking. Allowing you to select patterns for things that you fill in the color with. So you can fill in the surrounding area by decking, tiling, concrete. So I'm pretty sure it's probably not there. But let me just double check. No, so in the next day or so, or next few days, you'll have a little tab here where you'll be able to change this to have a pattern to look like decking, tiling, concreting, and other build materials, especially for the pool surrounding areas. We are working on volume for the pool and also perimeter. There's a lot of concrete pool builders go off the perimeter as well. You'll also soon be able to see the coping in a sort of semi-transparent way. It'll auto-generate fence lines and things like that. I agree with you in regards to site coverage percentage, Mitchell. I'll look into why that's disappeared from the site plan. We'll do that straight away. Thanks, Elise, for putting that sort of image as well. Hopefully that lets all of you see what we're doing behind the scenes, and it also substantiates what I'm saying, because sometimes I feel I come across a bit salesy when I say all these things are coming, but I hope, especially with our long-term clients, I hope you can see we are delivering on what we're promising. And we keep these webinars month in, month out to keep us honest and try to sort of stick to our schedule, which is always tough. But so far so good. So guys, any last remaining questions or anything like that, or anything that while I'm here? If not, I'll stick around for a few moments. I'm happy to sort of field any last remaining questions. But look, I appreciate your time, everyone. This one's a bit of a short one, but I've focused on this. Yep. Merry Christmas to you as well, and to everyone else. Thanks, Christy. Appreciate it. Everyone, have a safe Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. It's been a tough last 2 years. So at some point, although it pains me, turn off Canibuild for a while and just enjoy yourselves and do your thing and sort of recharge. Was next year's probably going to be busy and hectic as well. So take the time you have to enjoy your family and friends. So look, thanks everyone again. Thanks, John T. Yeah, John T. Appreciate you jumping on. I hope I sort of impressed you with some of the tech stuff. John T.'s a bit cutting edge when it comes to tech, but everyone else, appreciate it. Chelsea, thank you for the words. Everyone else, goodbye. Have a Merry Christmas. Keep safe. And see you again in January. For those of you keen on jumping on the 6th, else I'll see you in February and every month thereafter. Darren, thank you. Everyone, keep selling, keep smiling, keep safe. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, look, 22 is going to be a big year. So I'll see you then again in February. This is pretty cool, but I'm biased, I know. Anyways, goodbye, guys. I'll just keep playing around with it a little bit more. That's really gold. Just check that. That's magic. All right. I could play forever. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you later, everyone.